we actually avoid ever experiencing those situations or circumstances again. So what happens is, I am Dan Warburton, a transformational coach who's known for having enabled thousands of entrepreneurs and business owners to succeed in extraordinary ways. I've also got web spaces full of testimonials backing this up, and I'm often invited to speak to audiences of thousands around the world about what transformation makes possible. I now get to live an extraordinary lifestyle, and I want you to be able to experience the same. Today, I'm going to be covering and deepening some of the amazing distinctions covered by our all-time hero, Tony Robbins. Tony Robbins, here he is speaking in his TED Talk. Some of the insights he gives are profound. However, I feel that he misses out some key elements that when you put them in there, elevate what he's guiding you through here to a whole new level. This is a section that inspired me and interested me. Here it is.
So the question we got to ask ourselves really is, what is it? What is it that shapes us? And we live in a therapy culture. Most of us don't do that, but the culture is a therapy culture. And what I mean by that is the mindset that we are our past. And everybody in this room, you wouldn't be in this room if you bought that theory, but most of society thinks biography is destiny. The past equals the future. And of course it does if you live there.
In this section here, Tony Robbins speaks about how we're in this therapy culture that most people relate to themselves as their past, that what's happened in their past really does give the future that they're going to live. And I very, very much agree with him that that's not the case. However, what he overlooks is that our brain intrinsically is built with a survival mechanism where things that have happened to us in the past, like being bullied, failing in business, a relationship ending, or all those things that happen to us as children that leaves us maybe emotionally hurt or embarrassed, actually cause us to go and create a way that we think the world is and isn't. And then from then on, we subconsciously believe that the world really is that way. So then going into the future, we actually avoid ever experiencing those situations or circumstances again. So what happens is we would then avoid maybe asking someone out on a date. We would avoid going to get a better job, or we would avoid getting a bank loan, or setting up a business, or leaving our job and traveling the world, or leaving a marriage that's really unfulfilling, whatever it is. And so, yes, I totally understand and I get where he's coming from, that we are not our past. However, we need to bring a lot of respect to the mechanism of our brain. Because through my life's work, I've enabled many people, through conversation, to become aware of the way they interpreted themselves and the world around them from these past events, and then break through and transform those interpretations. And then from there, then take new actions that had them access a completely new future that before that they couldn't access. Interesting, right? Here's the next bit.
You fail to achieve a goal. What's the reason people say they failed to achieve? What do they tell you? Tell me. Come on, out loud. Didn't know enough, didn't have the knowledge, didn't have the money, didn't have the time, didn't have the technology, I didn't have the right manager. They are a claim to you missing resources, and they may be accurate. You may not have the money, you may not have the Supreme Court, but that is not the defining factor. The defining factor is never resources, it's resourcefulness. And what I mean specifically, rather than just some phrase, is if you have emotion, human emotion. So emotion is it, and if we get the right emotion, we can get ourselves to do anything. We can get through it. If you're creative enough, playful enough, fun enough, can you get through to anybody, yes or no? If you don't have the money, but you're creative and determined enough, you find the way.
So here, Tony speaks about resourcefulness, and that how most people think that the reason why they didn't succeed was because of maybe a lack of money, or parenting, or circumstance, or not the right manager, whatever. And what he's iterating or going deeper into here is that he sees that emotion is the key. That if you can access the right emotion, that's going to cause you to get in action, to take those actions that you need to then succeed. However, what he's missing out here is that even though we can practice accessing those emotions again and again and again, yes, we can do it. We can change our state in a moment, as he says. At the same time, it becomes so much easier once we become aware of the causes of us not being empowered in the first place, or the causes of us not being automatically in an empowered way day in, day out. Because once we do that inner work and we distinguish what's causing us to feel like I can't do it, or it will never happen to me, or I'm not good enough, or all those things, which are actually the ways of thinking that cause us to not feel empowered, then we can break through them, transform them, free ourselves of that way of thinking. And then I find that naturally underneath who we are and at our true essence are human beings that have all the emotion that we need to be in action and to enjoy life. That all we need to do is just uncover and clear away what is not us, and then when we become us, we naturally become unstoppable. Here's the next section.
If decisions shape destiny, what determines it is 3 decisions. What are you going to focus on? Right now, you have to decide what you're going to focus on. In this second, consciously or unconsciously, the minute you decide to focus on something, you got to give it a meaning. And whatever that meaning is produces emotion. Is this the end or the beginning? Is God punishing me or rewarding me, or is this the roll of the dice? And emotion then creates what we're going to do, or the action.
So here, also, if we look back at that last video that I covered from Will Smith about choose a destiny, choose a future, just choose it, just make that decision, the same here as Tony Robbins is saying to do the same. And Tony Robbins takes it further. He then says about give it a meaning. So what he means by this is give a real reason, a real deep why to why you're doing what you're doing, a real reason as to why you've chosen to become successful in your field. And that once you get that, that's going to give you the motivation and the focus that you then require to keep going. Or in other words, as Tony Robbins put it, the emotion needed. And this I couldn't agree with more. So if you do 2 things, 1, first, do the work to clear away the causes of what's having you not think in a way that's empowered. Then secondly, choose a future that inspires you, and then create a real deep reason as to why you want to do that. When you put those 2 together, that is going to make you be like absolutely on fire and unstoppable. Here's the final section that I like from Tony Robbins here.
So transformation can happen. So my invitation to you is this. Explore your web, the web in here. The needs, the beliefs, the emotions that are controlling you. For 2 reasons. So there's more of you to give. Achieve too. We all want to do it, but I mean give. Because that's what's going to fill you up. And secondly, so you can appreciate, not just understand, that's intellectual, that's mind, but appreciate what's driving other people. It's the only way our world's going to change. God bless you. Thank you. I hope this was served.
Tony Robbins. What Tony Robbins says here is to look and study your own inner web, your mind. Discover and understand your motives and your reasons as to what's driving you. Not only so that you can have a better quality in life, but also so you can serve others more effectively. And also, on a deep level, understand other human beings. I totally agree with all of this. And the fastest way of doing this is work with a coach. Go and find somebody who understands how to coach effectively to enable 2 things. Firstly, to enable you to discover what's the reasons behind your disempowering ways of thinking, then break through it and transform it. And secondly, how to create a new future that truly inspires you. Well done for taking the time to watch this video. If you've got an entrepreneurial friend, then make them feel special by sharing this video with them. Also, feel free to contact me about anything. And don't forget, if you're truly committed to succeed, then hit that subscribe button.